Hey guys, it's Fiona from Eve and Cinder Reads, and welcome back to another video. Yes, there's been a gap. If you are just like, what is happening? Check out my previous video, which is all about stuff that is going on. Today I'm doing a slightly different video. I normally don't do negative reviews of books. This isn't technically like a review, although kind of it. Anyway. These are two books I recently did not finish and I have no intention of going back to, and I've drawn up a couple of points about each that were maybe part of the reasons that I couldn't finish the book. For me, when reading a book, if I get to 50 pages and I'm a bit like, I'm not 100% sure yet, I will carry on to 100 pages. I will try my best to get to 100 pages before I say, I'm not going to finish this book. I managed to get to 100 pages with one of these books, but not the other. Let's talk about the other one first, and that is The Appearance of Eve and Cinder. Don't have the book on me at the moment, it's not here, so here is a picture of it. It's by Catherine Howe. I was sent this for review a little while ago, and I only got to 76 pages. So, why did I only get to 76 pages, I hear you ask? Here is a couple of points for why that is. Point number one, the main character. Wes is our main character, and for me, his personality shifted wildly from one thing to completely the opposite. One minute he says he's no good with girls, next minute he's got a girl and he's flirting with her in this best friend's shop where he works, and he doesn't make any sense. Like, I couldn't understand him, I couldn't get my head around him, I didn't like him as a main character. He had no real redeeming qualities for what he was doing or what he was. I just couldn't get on with him at all. Point number two, Wes's friends. They are assholes. Maybe that was the point, I don't know. But it made me dislike the book even more because they too had no redeeming qualities. Wes never once pulled them up for being assholes or ever challenged them about it. Is that a guy thing though? Like, my other half is an asshole to his best friend. Is that a guy thing? It must be a guy thing. I don't get it. So that one I'm just like, I don't know. Third point I'm going to talk about is that it took a long time to get going, which is why I only got to 76 pages. It was really slow. There was a lot of setting the scene, and it was very confusing as to what was happening, and it just didn't slot together right in my mind. I didn't feel like I was there. I felt like I was an outsider watching, which I don't want to be. I want to be involved in the book. That's why I read the book. I want to be there, if that makes any sense. But there were a couple of things I did like about the book. One is that they were studying at film school, and I thought it was really interesting that that was the choice. And another thing was how Wes explains how he sees the world through his camera. That was really beautiful, that part, and I really enjoyed his thoughts then. But then he suddenly flipped out again and changed, and I was like, you're not who you were 5 pages ago. Very confusing. So unfortunately I will not be finishing that book anytime soon, which is a shame because I had high hopes for it. But alas, such is life. The other book I am talking about today, I got to 100 pages, but only just. It took me like 8 or 9 days, which is never a good thing, and that is Riverkeeper by Martin Stewart. This is a debut novel coming out in April, hence why I don't have a final copy. I will put a picture of the final book cover here so you can see it. Penguin very kindly gave us these copies for our book club, and our book club are meeting again at the beginning of May to discuss our thoughts, so this video won't go live until after that probably, just because I want to talk to them about this book first, but I'm recording in advance. So let's talk about some points to do with this book and how I feel. Point number one, William. Yes, William, not William, William. Or Wool for short, which I kind of think is kind of cute. That's okay. I just could not get on with him. He had absolutely no redeeming qualities whatsoever. I think he was supposed to be portrayed as a boy down on his luck. Things have suddenly just gone to shit, and this wasn't what was supposed to happen, but there was nothing to cling on to make me feel for him. Like, I didn't care. I didn't care about him, which is such a shame. Point number 2, the start of this book jumps around a lot. First off, you're with William, and then you're with a guy, and then you're with a fish. The fish is explained a little bit on the back, but you're sort of hopping around to sort of set the points in motion, I suppose, which in the long run, I guess, is useful, makes sense later in the story, but it's very, very hard to get going because you feel like you're jumping from one thing to another and it doesn't flow correctly. I just feel like the first bit needs to have a little bit more done to it for it to work, which is a shame because I really, really like the setting. Like, this book is very, very dark, murky, a bit mysterious. He deals with the dead. He is the Riverkeeper. And I thought, this sounds great. I thought maybe it'll be a darker version of Sabriel because she deals with the dead. She goes into death, which is like a river, and deals with the dead. And I thought, brilliant, maybe this is something similar. Maybe it's darker and it's going to be a bit more grimy and gripping. And maybe I went in with too high an expectation because it really wasn't like that at all. And I was expecting more to do with them being the Riverkeeper, if that makes any sense. Another point I'd like to make is this felt kind of almost middle grade. Like, I wasn't sure if I was reading YA or MG. That's not a good sign. I don't know what mindset I should be in when reading this because there's nothing to me that defines it as young adult. If anything, it is more middle grade. Maybe that will be useful for the in-between sort of age, and maybe that's where it actually belongs, so it's not one, it's not the other. But I just didn't feel like William was the same age as other YA characters, was the same kind of feeling that was going on, the same, I don't know how to explain it, but it just didn't feel like a YA, which is so strange. And last thing I want to mention is the language in this book. Not like swearing language, I mean the actual talking language. So we swap and change from regular language that we use now to sort of an old English. "There ye are," he whispered. "Come on, we only need the one of you. We'll butter and beans. Come on now." So that's a pretty straightforward translation in your head, you know what he's saying. But some of them you're a bit like, oh, there's a lot of letters missing and a lot of apostrophes and whatnot, and it gets a bit confusing to actually look at when you're trying to read it. If it had been like that throughout the entire book, I would have gotten used to it, but because you swap from them talking like that back to the English we use now, it was a bit too jumpy. So there was a lot of jumping of things going on, which is why I got really, really confused and I couldn't settle into this book at all, which is such a disappointment because I was really looking forward to it. And I'm really sad that I've had to put it down, but I was carrying this book around for over a week and just not picking it up, and I know that's the sign of that I need to read something else. And after this book I read Morgan Matson in less than 24 hours, so it kind of gives you an idea of I wasn't enjoying what I was reading. But anyway, I don't normally post videos of books that I don't finish, but I want to diverse what I put on my channel and not always be, this book's amazing! I want to try some different things too. So, yay! Do you guys like these kinds of videos? If you do, let me know, leave a comment down below, and maybe I will do some more. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you on my next video. Bye!